The old house on a hill overlooked Santa Clara, its windows like vacant eyes. Locals called it the House of Sighs. 8-year-old Lily found it fascinating. She never imagined one of its secrets would be an Aswang. Lily was imaginative. One sweltering afternoon, exploring near the house's garden, she found a doll half buried. It was an antique porcelain doll, dress tattered, eyes chipped, but with eerie charm. Its dark hair shimmered. Lily unearthed it. As she held it, a faint warmth emanated and she felt a strange connection. She named the doll Clara. Her parents found it endearing. But Lily noticed things. Sometimes holding Clara, she heard faint whispers, like dry leaves, too distinct to be wind. They seemed to emanate from the doll. At night, Lily would wake to soft scratching from Clara's corner, like tiny nails on wood. It stopped when she opened her eyes. One morning, Lily woke with a fresh scratch on her arm. Her mother blamed a loose nail, but Lily knew. Clara had been on her bedside table, chipped eyes fixed on her arm. The whispers grew clearer, a low, guttural hum. Then dreams began. Vivid, terrifying dreams of a woman with long, black hair, face obscured by shadow, eyes glowing red, hovering, a long, thin tongue snaking out. Lily would wake screaming, but her parents reassured her, attributing it to bad dreams. The village had unsettling Aswang stories. Old man Isidro, the oldest resident, muttered about the creature that walks among us, unseen, unheard. He spoke of its shape-shifting, its true monstrous form at night, its hunger for the unborn, the sick, the life force. Lily, listening, shivered, clutching Clara tighter. One afternoon, Lily's mother, ailing Celia, felt unwell. Pale, tired, with a dull stomachache, Lily by her side noticed Clara's eyes following her mother. The doll's whispers were louder, a hungry murmur. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. The scratching from Clara's corner was relentless. She crept to the doll. As she reached, she saw a faint shimmer around Clara. Then the doll's head slowly, impossibly turned. Its chipped eyes glowed with malevolent light. Then she heard the words, clear as day, whispered into her mind. Soon, she will be mine. Lily screamed, a raw, primal sound. Her parents rushed in. What is it, Anak? Her father asked. Clara, Lily sobbed. She talked to me. She wants Mama. Her parents exchanged worried glances. It's just a dream, sweetie, her mother said. Dolls don't talk. But Lily knew. Clara wasn't just a doll. She was a vessel, a disguise. The Aswang was in their house. It was targeting her mother. The next day, Lily's mother grew weaker, skin clammy, breathing shallow. Lily, desperate, remembered old man Isidro's words about garlic and salt. She crept to the kitchen, grabbed garlic cloves and rock salt. She returned to her room, heart pounding. Clara sat on the bedside table, eyes fixed on her parents' door. The whispers were a frantic, hungry chorus. With trembling hands, Lily rubbed garlic on Clara's porcelain skin, then sprinkled salt. As they touched, a high-pitched shriek from deep within the doll tore through the air. The doll convulsed, rattling violently. The shimmer intensified, pulsing with sickly green light. The whispers turned to guttural snarls, then a terrifying, inhuman roar that shook the house. The doll's porcelain skin cracked, spiderwebbing. The black hair writhed, elongating. Lily, terrified but resolute, continued rubbing garlic and sprinkling salt, chanting a children's rhyme. The doll shrieked again, a sound of agony, then with a final ear-splitting crack, exploded into porcelain shards and foul-smelling black smoke. When the smoke cleared, only dust and broken pieces remained. The air felt lighter, cleaner. Her parents, roused by the noise, rushed in. They saw the shattered doll, the lingering scent. Lily, trembling, explained everything. Her parents, seeing her terror and the evidence, finally believed her. Ailing Celia slowly recovered. The strange illness vanished. The house of sighs still stood, but Lily never ventured near it again. The incident left an indelible mark on Lily. She was no longer just an imaginative child. She was a survivor. She learned that some horrors are real, lurking in plain sight, disguised, and that sometimes the smallest are first to see truth and bravest to fight darkness. The memory of the whispering doll and the Aswang within would forever be etched in her mind. Barangay San Isidro's air was thick with wood smoke, a stark contrast to Manila hospitals. As Dr. Elias Reyes, fresh out of medical school, I volunteered for a rural health mission. I found a chilling blend of superstition and inexplicable horror. My first patient, Maria, suffered a mysterious wasting illness. Her skin translucent, eyes sunken, strength draining daily. Her family insisted it was a curse. I dismissed it as malnutrition, but Maria weakened. Then came deaths. Not just the very young or old, but healthy individuals. A farmer, Mang Jose, found dead, body strangely deflated, pale. A young mother, ailing Sita, succumbed to sudden fever, her organs gone soft. Villagers whispered of the Aswang, a creature that stole vitality and feasted on the dead. I, the rational doctor, scoffed. My small clinic became a hub of fear. I worked tirelessly but futilely. Symptoms were vague, progression rapid, outcome always death, leaving an empty body. One evening, Manang Elena, the village healer, knocked. She carried herbs and pungent oil. "Doctor," she began, "some illnesses are not of the body alone." She placed a dried root on my table. "This is for you, to protect you from the Aswang." I smiled politely. "Thank you, Manang Elena, but I believe in science." She merely nodded. "Science has its limits, doctor. Aswang has none." The next few nights, the village was eerily silent. I checked locks more often, a prickle of unease growing. One night, I was called to Danilo's home. He had suddenly fallen ill. Examining him, I noticed a faint, sweet, cloying odor, like formaldehyde mixed with something organic. Danilo's family was distraught. Leaving, I noticed the undertaker, Mangben, usually jovial, was gaunt. His eyes were bloodshot, sunken. He seemed everywhere, offering condolences, but with a strange, predatory gleam. Later, unable to sleep, I visited the cemetery. The moon was full. I heard a faint slurping from behind the oldest mausoleum. My heart pounded. I crept closer. Rounding the corner, the sight froze my blood. Mang Ben. But not the Mang Ben I knew. He was hunched over a fresh grave, face contorted in a grotesque leer. His mouth impossibly wide, a long black tubular tongue plunged deep into the earth. He was sucking. The sweet, cloying odor was overwhelmingly strong. He was feeding on the corpse. This was the Aswang, the Balbal, the ghoul. The slurping intensified. My foot snapped a twig. Mangben's head snapped up, his eyes glowing red fixed on me. A guttural growl rumbled. He began to transform, body elongating, limbs twisting, skin growing coarse and dark. The tongue retracted, mouth reforming into a fanged maw. He was no longer Mangben. He was a monster. Terror seized me. I ran. The Aswang shrieked behind, its heavy loping footsteps gaining. I burst through the cemetery gates, my clinic a distant light. I fumbled for the key. The Aswang was right behind me, its shadow looming, foul breath hot on my neck. Slamming the door shut, I remembered Manang Elena's roots. Then garlic, salt, light. My clinic had a powerful examination lamp. I dragged it to the door, aiming its bright beam. Outside, the Aswang roared, its monstrous form visible through cracks, red eyes burning. The light seemed to hurt it. I grabbed rubbing alcohol and splashed it against the door. The Aswang hissed, a sound of agony, and its shadow retreated. I spent the night huddled, lamp blazing, air thick with alcohol. The Aswang circled outside but did not approach. By dawn, it was gone. The next morning, Mangben's house was abandoned. His family claimed he left, but I knew. I stayed in San Isidro, but my perspective shifted. I still practiced medicine, but now, when a patient suffered a mysterious illness or a body was found strangely deflated, I no longer dismissed the whispers of the Aswang. I advised families to keep garlic by doors, light lamps, and watch those too eager to attend wakes. My scientific mind shattered, replaced by a chilling understanding. Some horrors exist beyond diagnosis. The Aswang was real, and it preyed on the living and the dead in quiet villages. Sometimes, even a doctor, armed with modern medicine, could only watch as darkness consumed. The air in Sitio Maligaya hung heavy with unspoken dread, clinging to the ancient balate tree. My grandmother, Aling Nena, warned, "When crickets fall silent and dogs howl at nothing, that's when the Aswang hunts." We scoffed until the silence descended. It began subtly with livestock, a prize sow drained of blood, a neat incision beneath its jaw. Then a healthy goat, eyes wide with terror, lay lifeless, its organs liquefied. Villagers blamed wild dogs, but Aling Nena's eyes, clouded with ancient fear, whispered, "It's the Aswang. It's testing the waters." Our family lived in a modest nipa hut. My younger sister Maya was 8, vibrant and curious. She was, unknowingly, about to become the focus of a nightmare. One evening, Elena arrived, seemingly in her late 20s, with striking features and unnerving stillness. She introduced herself as a distant cousin of the barangay captain. Polite and soft-spoken, her smile never reached her eyes. She charmed everyone, especially children. Maya was instantly drawn to Elena, who had endless candies and city tales. My hospitable mother invited Elena to stay. I felt an inexplicable chill as Elena crossed our threshold, a faint, metallic scent clinging to her. I dismissed it. Strange occurrences escalated. At night, scratching from our roof like long nails on palm leaves, my father, Mang Tonyo, found nothing. Village dogs, usually boisterous, grew quiet after midnight, their barks replaced by mournful whimpers. Then the babies fell ill. First, Mang Pedro's newborn, thin and listless. Then, Aling Celia's infant, belly distended, skin pale. The midwife, Manang Izing, was baffled. "It's like their life force is being drained." Ailing Nena knew. Her gaze drifted to Elena, always hovering near the sick children, offering comfort, her eyes watchful, never warm. One sweltering afternoon, Maya complained of a terrible stomachache. Her skin was clammy, eyes dull. My mother panicked. Elena was by Maya's side, stroking her forehead with a cold hand. As Elena leaned closer, her dark hair falling over Maya's face, I saw a predatory glint in her eyes, gone as quickly as it appeared. Then a faint tick-tick sound like a tiny rapid heartbeat emanated from Elena's throat. My blood ran cold. Tick-tick, the Aswang sound, its tongue extending. Ailing Nena's words echoed. The Aswang can take many forms, but its true self is revealed in the dark and by the sounds it makes. That night, I couldn't sleep. The scratching on the roof was louder. I crept to the window, peering into the moonless night. The balete tree stood like a dark sentinel. Then I saw it. A shadow detached from the tree, a grotesque winged form soaring silently towards our hut. It was Elena, but a creature of nightmare. Upper torso severed, organs dangling, a long, thin tongue snaking out. It was a manananggal. My heart was hammered. I watched, horrified, as the creature landed silently on our roof, its tongue probing for the crack where Maya lay, vulnerable. The tick-tick was chillingly close. Suddenly a rustle outside, Aling Nena. She stood beneath the balete tree, clutching salt and a bolo knife. She had known. As the manananggal prepared to strike, Ailing Nena chanted, low and guttural. The creature paused, hissing, snapping its head towards her. This was my chance. I scrambled to my parents' bed, shaking them awake. "Mama, Papa, it's Elena. She's Aswang. She's on the roof." My father, a man of logic, initially scoffed, but my terror, The silent dogs and the distant tick-tick made him hesitate. My mother, seeing Aling Nena, understood. "The salt!" Aling Nena cried. "Sprinkle salt on its lower half. It cannot rejoin without it." My father grabbed rock salt. He rushed outside. The Manananggal, enraged, swooped down. Ailing Nena dodged, and my father threw handfuls of salt towards the creature's detached lower body, hidden in the tree's shadow. A piercing shriek tore through the night as the salt hit. The Manananggal recoiled, its form flickering, eyes burning with fury. It shrieked again, then, with desperate flapping, soared away into the darkness, leaving a stench of decay and fear. We never saw Elena again. Maya slowly recovered, though nightmares lingered. The village returned to rhythm, but the Aswang was no longer legendary. It was a terrifying memory. Every time crickets fell silent and dogs whimpered at the moonless sky, we knew the Aswang had been here, and it would return. The Balei tree stood as a silent testament. The old jeep sputtered to a halt, Leo announcing, "Welcome to Hacienda Luna, home of the legendary Whispering Winds, and according to lore, a few Aswang." 4 of us, Leo, the thrill seeker, Sarah, the historian, Mark, the photographer, and I, Alex, the writer. We sought a haunted sugar mill, dismissing Aswang talk as folklore. We were wrong. The hacienda was a skeletal ruin, crumbling walls, rusted machinery, pervasive silence. As we explored, I felt increasing unease. The air was heavy, charged. As dusk approached, a high-pitched, mournful cry drifted from the cane fields. "What was that?" Mark asked. "Probably just a wak-wak," Leo dismissed, though his eyes darted. Sarah frowned. "Local legends say the wak-wak is an Aswang that lures travelers, a shapeshifter." We laughed it off, but the sound persisted, growing closer, more insistent. It scraped against the nerves, a premonition. We camped in the mill courtyard, building a fire. As stars appeared, wak-wak cries intensified, circling our camp. Distant village dogs howled, sending shivers down our spines. "Okay, that's not normal," Leo admitted, his bravado fading. He pulled out an old book. "The Aswang can be repelled by garlic, salt, and sacred oil. They hate light." We had none save our campfire. We were unprepared, vulnerable. Suddenly, a rustling in the cane fields, much closer. The wak-wak cry became a guttural shriek of malice. Mark dropped his phone. "It's not a bird, it's too big." A shadow detached from the swaying cane. Too large, too swift. It moved with unnatural grace. Firelight cast grotesque shadows. Then, in moonlight, it emerged. A creature of nightmare. It was humanoid, elongated, gaunt, with leathery bat-like wings. Its eyes glowed red, its distended mouth filled with needle-sharp teeth, contorted in a silent scream. This was no bird, this was the Aswang. Panic seized us. Leo fumbled for his flashlight. Its weak beam momentarily startled the creature. It hissed, recoiling. "Light!" Sarah screamed. "It hates light!" We frantically grabbed phones, turning on flashlights, creating a small, trembling circle of illumination. The Aswang circled, red eyes fixed on us, wings beating silently, creating a chilling draft. The air grew heavy with a foul, metallic odor. "What does it want?" Mark whispered. "It wants to feed," I replied. "It's a wak-wak. It preys on the living." The creature lunged, fast, aiming for Leo. Leo screamed, scrambling back, tripping. The Aswang's talons raked his arm, drawing blood. A sickening growl rumbled in its chest. "Run!" Sarah yelled, grabbing Mark. "To the jeep!" We bolted, a desperate dash. The Aswang shrieked behind us, wings beating furiously, cries echoing. We heard it gaining, rustling cane, heavy thumps. Leo, despite his arm, was fast. He had the keys. We burst from the hacienda, stumbling onto the dirt path. The jeep was ahead. Get in! Get in!" Leo yelled, fumbling with the lock. As we piled in, the Aswang burst from the cane fields, a monstrous silhouette. It was closer, red eyes burning. Its mouth opened, revealing jagged teeth, a long, thin tongue snaking out. Leo jammed the key, the engine sputtering. Come on, he pleaded. The Aswang was almost upon us, its shadow falling over the Jeep. We felt its hot breath, its foul stench. Sarah screamed, Mark whimpered. Just as it lunged, talons reaching, the Jeep's engine roared to life. Leo slammed the accelerator, tires spitting gravel. The Aswang shrieked in frustration, talons scraping the roof, leaving deep gouges. We sped down the road, leaving horrors behind. The walk-walk cries faded. We drove in silence, broken only by ragged breaths. We made it back, shaken but alive. Leo's bandaged arm was a permanent reminder. We never spoke of the Aswang casually again. Hacienda Luna's cane fields held a terrifying truth. And sometimes on a quiet night, I still hear it, the distant, mournful howl of the Aswang, a sound that will forever haunt me.